Hello YouTube friends, my name is Trevor. I've never done a movie review in my life. I enjoy watching them. I don't really know if I'm any good at it, so just bear with me. I'm gonna give my first movie review on YouTube because I think it needs to be done. So, first movie review from me, maybe the last too, Independence Day Resurgence. And bear with me, I'm not the best at it. My thoughts are gonna be all over the place and I'll edit it to the best of my ability. I went to film school. Yeah, and now I work for an auto parts store. Figure it out. Anyway, like I said, I think I have a little bit of some insight of what it takes to be critical of a movie and to when to give a movie a chance and when to just go in with my blinders on and just go, we're gonna have fun with this. It's not gonna make sense. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be a Citizen Kane. It's just gonna be a fun popcorn movie. And for all intents and purposes, this was a popcorn movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. I love the visual effects. They were spectacular. I've never seen visual effects better in any other movie. The action sequences were top-notch, like I expected them to be coming from an Independence Day movie. The veteran characters are back, and I gotta say, they probably stole the show. They were probably the one thing about the movie I liked the most. But nonetheless, I still had a good time watching it. I enjoyed those characters. I enjoyed seeing them back on the big screen. And then the plot started kicking in. Oh my god, the plot holes. The plot holes in this movie are big enough to fit that fucking mothership through it, okay? There were so many coincidences and so badly timed humor in it that at times I kind of cringed a little bit, but I went in knowing that the plot holes were gonna be there because even the first movie had them. So I went in with an open mind. I'm gonna keep my expectations low. I'm not gonna expect a fantastic, mind-blowing experience because it is Independence Day and it is a sequel from a movie that was made 20 years ago when I was 13. And I loved the first Independence Day movie. I love that movie. That was one of the defining movies that made me want to go into filmmaking. A lot of good that did me. Thanks, Obama. But I digress. Off the bat, I'm just gonna give my rating of it, and then I'm gonna get into a little bit of the things I didn't like about it. So I'm gonna say Independence Day Resurgence is gonna get a solid D+ from me out of the usual A to F grading scale. Because there was something that happened in this movie that made me realize, oh God, that's where they're going with this? So as I said, now I'm gonna get into a little bit of the nitty gritty of the things I did not like about this movie, and let me strap in, because there's quite a few things. First off, Will Smith's character's son, Dylan Hiller, I had no care at all for him. I'm sure he tried his best, but as far as charisma goes, he had none. He seemed more like a fucking cheerleader. He's chosen to represent the United States of America in the most elite squadron that Earth has to offer. And in all reality, I did not believe his character. I didn't really feel for him. When his mom died, I didn't even give... Oh yeah, by the way, his mom dies, yeah. She falls from a helicopter. She just dies, and it was like, oh, well, I didn't even get a chance to like her. She was only in the movie like for 2 scenes, and then they kill her. It's like, okay, sure. He was a very two-dimensional flat character. He really didn't go anywhere. He didn't grow in any way. So as far as a critical perspective on the movie when it comes to one of the main characters, I didn't give a shit for him at all. And now I understand why Will Smith didn't re-sign for this movie, because it was kind of a fucking train wreck. The story just... It had a good flow at the beginning. There were a few scenes that I really liked that really got me on the edge of my seat. And then this other alien comes in, that's not the aliens that attacked us. It's like some friendly alien made by, the Apple Store. And it's like, wants to help us, and it wants to, recruit us to be like a leader of the resistance. I think that's actually the word they used too, was the resistance. And looking throughout the movie, I saw a whole bunch of references to a whole bunch of things that have already been done in movies very recently. First off, the Queen dying somehow shuts down all the ships. I thought that George Lucas stole that from Roland Emmerich to make those droids just collapse when the mothership died. Well, it turns out Roland Emmerich stole it back from George Lucas, because when this biological queen dies, for some reason, all the other aliens just die too, and the mothership floats away, and all the fighters crash, and... What? Okay. But I forgave it, because like I said, this is an Independence Day movie. I know what I'm getting. Suspend reality and just have a good time. And then there was the last 20 seconds of the movie. This is where it all came off the rails for me, and I walked out of the theater booing it. I was like, no, What are you doing? Because let's face it, the ending fucking sucked. Now that this Apple machine from, Steve Jobs' heaven comes down and tells us, oh, I can teach you interstellar travel, I can teach you advanced weaponry, I can teach you about wormholes. Now the new president, played by that dude from Armageddon, I can never remember his fucking name. He's one of those, that guy, you see in every movie, like, oh, there's that guy. I've seen him in a whole bunch of other shit. Anyway, he's the president, and he starts listening to this Dr. Oaken character, who, by the way, did a great job. I had fun watching him again. But I digress. That guy president basically says we're going to take the fight to them with this interstellar technology. And then Thor's brother, who, by the way, also I think did a fine job with the material he was given. He was one of the few characters that had charisma and that I kind of believed in. But he seconds the president's, we're going to go take the fight to them. And then Dr. Oaken's character stands there with Eva from, Wall-E behind her, and says, we're gonna kick so much alien ass. Black. Credits roll. I stood up and booed. Because right at that moment, I realized they're gonna make a sequel. What is it gonna be? It won't be an Independence Day movie. Let's face it, an Independence Day movie is when aliens come from the sky and wreck shit here on Earth. That's an Independence Day movie. But apparently they want to take this into its own expanded universe of going into space to take the fight to the aliens. And this little Apple alien could have come and helped us defeat that big mothership, get it to leave the Earth, then blow the fuck out of it. That would have been a lot more interesting. But no, the ship just leaves. It just goes away. What the fuck is it going away for? It was within a mile of penetrating the crust to get to the magma to steal all the energy from the Earth and basically render it lifeless. But the Queen died, and now she can't, psychically control this ship that has probably hundreds of billions of life forms on it that I guess are unable to think for themselves. They did fine in the last one without a queen. In fact, they all seem kind of sentient and able to make decisions for themselves. But like I said, it's an Independence Day movie, and it shit on my face. The ending shit on my face and went, this is where I'm taking it. So Roland Emmerich, I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. I loved your first Independence Day movie, but your Independence Day Resurgence made me want to regurgitate and get a refund. If they make another one, yeah, I'll probably go see it, but I'm not expecting it to be good in the slightest. I went into this one with high hopes, but low expectations. I wanted to just have fun and just be blown away by it, and it turned into something it wasn't supposed to be. In all honesty, the first Independence Day, in my opinion, did not need a sequel. It stood on its own as a disaster movie classic. I still enjoy watching it to this day. This movie did not need to be made. So with that being said, that's my review of Independence Day Resurgence. I wouldn't recommend you going to see it in the theater. Just wait till it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, because it's just a carbon copy of Independence Day. I really wish they just would have ended the entire thing in this movie at the end. I would have been much more satisfied. I would have been satisfied with the aliens blowing the fuck out of the planet and just killing everyone and leaving a sparse population of people on a spaceship that have to go find a new place to live. And then if you want to have a story from there, make a TV show of it. I'm gonna have to sit on this and let it stir and make another more in-depth review later on when I've had a chance to really let it sink in and analyze it and find all the things that just don't fucking belong. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you're able to tolerate this little rant I've been on. This movie's really fucked with my head, man. It was tough. It was tough to sit through. But I still had fun, so if you like what you've seen, hit the subscribe button, like the video, or don't. I really don't give a shit. I'm not out to get popular or anything like that. I just had to get this opinion out there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Tell me what your thoughts were on it. Any little things that you noticed that really just sucked that I haven't mentioned, just put them down below, and we'll talk about it. So anyway, thank you for watching, and have a good night.